Western Kentucky cut one of its programs after allegations of hazing.
And inconsistency strikes once again on the diamond for the Hilltoppers. And plus, we are, 42 hours away from the red and white spring game.
And a look at one high school football player who chose a different track.
With all the action from around Warren County and your WKU Hilltoppers, this is the Extra Point.
It's springtime in Kentucky, which means you never know what you're going to get with the weather.
I'll tell you what, Fletch, what I do know is that it's 6 o'clock on Thursday, and you're going to get the best in Bowling Green sports coverage. I'm David Holloway.
And I'm Fletcher Keel, and this is the Extra Point. Western Kentucky President Gary Ransdale and Athletic Director Todd Stewart notified the WKU swim and dive team that the program is suspended for 5 years, effective immediately. Extra Point reached out to 2 former dive team members for their reaction to the suspension.
After an investigation into hazing allegations, WKU suspended the 50-member swim and dive team for the next 5 years. According to the police report from the Bowling Green Police Department, they obtained a search warrant for 1303 Chestnut Street, a decision based on details from a 10-page complaint from former WKU swimmer Colin Craig. The report listed assault and forced alcohol consumption as complaints from Craig. Former WKU dive team members differed slightly on how they felt about the parties hosted by the swim team.
When I was going through as a diver, I didn't feel like they did anything haze-wise or just anything negative to us as a new recruits coming in.
The first party, everyone on the team offered me alcohol, and there was a lot of pressure during that party to drink. However, after the first one, they're like, okay, he's not going to drink, and they respected my distance.
Price mentioned that underage consumption of alcohol and occasional drug use are part of the college process.
Majority of college students will, smoke marijuana, and I don't know, if the swim team wants to relax a little bit, it's not that big of a deal, in my eyes.
Hall noted that it becomes a problem when the law clashes with group personal beliefs.
In a world where society and the law disagree on standards, there are, I don't know exactly what happened, but the environment of society that it's rules that agree on, people get hurt.
The university also announced that it will terminate the contracts of head coach Bruce Marchionda, associate head coach Brian Thomas, and head diving coach Chelsea Ale. Both former team members said that coaches knew of a culture of partying, but not the specifics of the parties.
The coaches knew about the environment, but as long as they were drinking responsibly, as far as I know, they took specific actions concerning different members. But the environment as a whole, I have no idea because I was never really a part of that.
For the Extra Point, I'm Josh Holland.
According to the police report, Bowling Green Police Department seized 5 picture boards full of various photographs from the walls of the house, Zach Hall addressed the photos and said that there was a mix of shame and pride for being on the, quote, wall of shame, end quote. When Josh Holland asked if there was nudity in the pictures, Hall simply responded, yes. The university announced that it will honor all current scholarships until the end of each student-athlete senior year and will allow for immediate transfer upon request. Zach Greenwell of the Bowling Green Daily News tweeted out the impact the swim and dive program had on the WKU athletic budget. The men's and women's programs combined for over $995,000 of the budget, representing about 4.6% of WKU's athletic spending. 14% of that went to coaches Bruce Marchionda, Brian Thomas, and Chelsea Ale, all who will see their positions eliminated on June 30th.
The suspension of the team marks the end of one of WKU's more successful programs on campus. This announcement comes less than 2 months since the Men's Conference USA Championship and the women's third-place finish for the season. Over the past 4 years, the men's swim and dive team won their conference title 3 times, and the women's team finished in the top 4 twice. Former head coach Bill Powell said that many of the successful swimmers are being wrongfully punished.
Well, my main thing is that there's so many innocent kids got punished. I just think the ones that were guilty should have been punished. Kicked out of school, off the team, whatever. Anybody that was involved should be punished, but 90% of the kids weren't involved, and they lost the program.
Western Kentucky will honor the scholarships of the current student athletes through their senior years if they maintain their academic standing. Bill Powell also expressed his concern over whether the university will renew the swim program after the 5-year suspension has expired.
As far as I know, the program's gone. And I don't think there's anything we can do now. I mean, they've made this; they're not gonna. And of course, as far as they're saying 5 years, but I really question that. I don't see them bringing it back in 5 years.
Complicated situations produce complex opinions. Extra Point reporter Carter Hooks went out to find those viewpoints from students on WKU's campus.
The WKU swim program was handed down a 5-year suspension from the university on Tuesday after investigations into a hazing incident that made waves through the student body.
It's pretty disappointing because you don't like to hear that from any group on campus.
It's really shocking to both of us that it happened, and then it's kind of unfortunate.
I just think it's a crazy thing for a collegiate team to haze.
Hazing is something that is not tolerated anywhere.
I think it's just pretty terrible for Western, honestly.
But not all students shared the same thoughts on the punishment.
I think it's pretty good because it's going to give everyone some time to think.
It was just Gary. He was just making an example out of them, I would say.
5 years maybe not that bad, but punishment, yes.
I don't think that's right at all because I personally have friends who are on the swim team and they're amazing people. They've never done anything wrong. They follow the rules, and I've watched them bawl their eyes out this morning.
With the suspension, opinions vary on the future of the WKU swim team.
It's going to make everyone value the swim team more once they get it back, and I don't think they're going to have any problems in the future going forward.
I feel bad for them because they probably won't be able to have a place to transfer either. Just because of that, it's probably going nationally known, so they probably won't get accepted to play other places.
For the Extra Point, I'm Carter Hooks.
In addition to current students, a former Hilltopper also lent her voice of encouragement to her former team. 2011 graduate and 2012 Olympian Claire Donahue took to Twitter to show her support for the WKU Swim and Dive program. Quote, "Got off the airplane and heard the news. I am so upset for my team. My heart goes out to these 50 kids. Family no matter what. Hashtag WKU Swim." Following her career on the Hill, Donahue took home the gold medal in the 400-meter medley relay during the 2012 Olympic Games in London. One Topper softball player set a WKU single-season record, but that was inevitable.
And the WKU Hilltoppers raced out against Murray State and fought off a 7th-inning comeback. Coming off the big win in Lexington, the Hilltoppers gritted their teeth and welcomed in another in-state rival. This time it's Murray State. Let's go to the tape. Hilltopper skipper Matt Myers looking for win number 100 at Western, and here comes Ryan Messick, ropes it into left center field, right between the fielders. We see here Taylor Matthews. He lost his hat as he throws it in the infield, and look who's coming around. Ryan Church, all the way from first, gives Tops 1 of 4 runs in the inning. Here comes Murray State with runners to the corners. Here we got Matt McGowan. He sends a little bit of airmail over to Philip Dietrichs. He picks it up, but then Matthews will score. Murray State will come within 1 in this inning. Bottom 5 now, Danny Hudzina pops it up. Can of corn for Pokey. Yes, that is his real name, Harris. He turns himself around as here comes Leif Clarkson in to score off the sac fly. Tops now up 2. Go to the top of the 7th, Nick Moore at the plate. Connor McHugh, hope you took a picture because you ain't never going to see that ball ever again. That thing's going way over the left field fence, and it is gone. Murray State is now within 1. Now going to the top 9, last chance. Here comes Brock Downey on the chopper to third. Hazing with a throw, and it is in time as the umpire calls him out. The Tops will come away with a 5-4 victory over the Racers. Western Kentucky sophomore Jackson Sowell pitched his first inning since returning home from Tommy John's surgery last night. That extra arm not only feels pretty good, but it also solidifies the Hilltopper bullpen.
It's the best I felt. I think I only threw like 6 pitches, and my first question to the coach was, am I going back out for another one?
With Harmon moving out, you've got to replace something. Now you got Sowell in there, but you can't just throw a whole weight on the world on Sowell. I mean, you've got to be smart.
The Hilltoppers travel to Lexington looking for a sweep over the Wildcats on Tuesday. Just like in the first meeting at Bowling Green Ballpark, Kentucky brought home runs in the opening frame. And just like in the first meeting, the Hilltoppers would battle back. The first WKU run came in the top of the third when Harrison Scanlon recorded his first career RBI and extra base hit in one foul swoop as he cleared the center field batter's eye and touched them all. In the top of the ninth, down 3-1, the hometown kid Anderson Miller delivered a 2-out, 2-run home run to send the game into extra innings. In the 10th frame, Scanlon and Paul Murray delivered a pair of go-ahead runs to give the Tops a 5-3 win. The back-to-back wins for Matt Myers and company couldn't have come at a better time for the Tops after they dropped 2 of 3 against the Southern Miss Eagles. Sunday was the rubber match of the 3-game set, and things looked good early for WKU as Danny Hudzina is going to make an incredible play off of this bunt attempt. He's going to barehand it, send it over to his roommate Ryan Church for the out. Up for the Golden Eagles, Taylor Bradley, he's going to step into the batter's box, hit that one onto the Avenue champions, and touch them all. That fastball by Austin King not coming back. Philip Dietrich at the plate. He says, "Oh, yeah, I could do you better." Connor Barron says, "No, you can't. I'm going to catch that one. You're going to be out." Stays in the ballpark. Now, there are 3 certainties in life: death, taxes, and Ryan Messick's throwing runners out. The defense played an errorless 9 innings, but it wouldn't be enough as the Eagles took it to the Tops 6-3. 3 Hilltopper baseball players have started all 34 games this season. Danny Hudzina and Cody Wofford have found steady homes at shortstop and third base, while also sharing their actual home with first baseman Ryan Church, who is instrumental in their friendship.
He's more of like a vocal guy, and I try to stay out of the vocal side.
You know, even if you're upset or you're down, he'll pick you up.
I do some dumb stuff.
Perspective may change the way a group of guys views the actions of senior first baseman Ryan Church. But whether it's the view from third, short, or first, it doesn't change how those players see their relationship.
I mean, if you know Ryan Church, it grew instantly. I mean, he's a pretty outgoing person, and he kind of transformed me a little bit. I'm a little bit more on the shy side.
He doesn't seem very conserved around me, so when we hang out, it's like, it's weird, like it's so easy. You know, it's not forced.
Natural, a word suited to describe their friendship. And when JUCO transfer Danny Hudzina was taking a swing at looking for a new club, naturally, he looked at Church, his former teammate at Palm Beach State.
It's the way that he carries himself, and I knew that the way that he plays the game is a lot similar to the way I try to play the game, and if that's accepted here, that's the type of guy I want to play with, and that's the type of coaching staff I want to be with.
Tell him, I don't know, man, I don't know. Hold off. I'm telling you, we're gonna get you a spot here. And finally, Coach Myers and Coach Allen said, "All right, go get him." So then I went and got him, and it was easier than I thought it was going to be. It took about 15 minutes for him to commit. Our infield in general, it's like Danny's not new. Almost like my younger brother, when I talked about Dan, come in and mix perfectly with my brother who's the same age, and it's just, I don't know, it was cool. It was cool to see.
He's always there to pick me up. You know, if I make a low throw or high throw, he's always there.
His personality really just helped me and brought me out and became great friends.
I might help out with that, but I mean, they all helped me out with so much. It's more than just a friendship, especially throughout the infield, because all we do is work together.
For the Extra Point, I'm Josh Holland.
Give Mr. Holland a swing and a miss on that story, because the one infielder he neglected to mention is that of Leif Clarkson, who only leads the team in hitting right now. The Hilltoppers head to the Sunshine State for a fight with FIU this weekend.
Lady Toppers softball teams opened their doubleheader against Southern Miss on Saturday at the WKU softball complex. Right now we see Hilltopper sending Miranda Kramer to the mound to kick this series off. And this strike, Miranda set a WKU single season record, strikeouts 254 with 7 more on the number. And here we see the offense, Carly Shomo, call her the showboat as she sends this one sent sky high in the left field, puts the Tops up 7-1 to win the game in the first run. The second one, the Tops would take the game 6-0 in shutout fashion. And guess who's back again? It's Miranda Kramer back in the circle, dishing out strike after strike against the Golden Eagles. The Lady Toppers rallied 8 runs, and a handful of them coming off Golden Eagle errors in the third. The Lady Tops would put up 8 in the third inning, as I just said before, and seal a deal in 5. Miranda Kramer set the record and stands at 17-4 on the year. Lady Tops stand at 25-7. For the second time in 3 weeks, WKU softball has been stood up, this time by Tennessee State, who informed WKU that they are unable to field a team due to illness and injuries for Wednesday night's game. Similar circumstances were the reason for the first cancellation earlier this month. The Lady Tops' next home game will be April 25th and 26th against Charlotte, and we'll be honoring the 8 seniors that weekend as well.
Yeah, Miranda Kramer, we get it. You got honored for your 1,000th career strikeout, broke the WKU single-season record in strikeouts, and threw 10 innings in 10 strikeouts in a 5-inning shutout. Yeah, we get it. Don't be selfish. We like to share the love here on the Extra Point, so we're going to give this week's Hero on the Hill honor to Anderson Miller. Miller went 3 for 5 in WKU's 5-3 win in Lexington on Tuesday, including a big 2-out, 2-run shot in the top of the 9th inning to force free baseball against the Wildcats. His 2 RBI proved to be the spark the Tops needed to declaw the Wildcats for the second time in as many games this year. The Lexington native is batting .342 on the season and leads the Hilltoppers in home runs with 9 and runs scored with 28. Now, I'm not good at math, but I do know that all of that adds up to a new Hero on the Hill.
I'm actually quite surprised you got that one right there, Fletch.
I am too there, David. Running with a ball or running with a baton, jumping over tacklers or hurdles. Both are decisions that one WKU student athlete made before coming to the Hill.
And it doesn't take Paul Revere to signal that spring football is coming. Spring football is coming! And Paul, they will be wearing red, but not on their coats. Now in the spring game, red versus white, the teams will look a little bit differently this time. Leading up to the contest, the Hilltopper football team held a weekend scrimmage last Saturday. Brendan Dowdy decided to view the live tackling scrimmage from a safe distance. Thank goodness for him. The backup QB spent most of their time handing the ball off to the backs. Ace Wales is going to take one up 20 yards. The refs ruling him down at the half-yard line. And later on in the game, freshman tailback from Glasgow, Marquise Trigg, had trouble holding on to a ball and eating a scuffle with Deshaun Bertram. And as you know, eventually the offense will get the ball to the receivers. Kalen Towner scored 2 touchdowns on the game for the red team. The Hilltopper defense is determined to improve next season and probably wants to stay a little bit away from the yellow there, Fletch. Nick Holt makes the decision any rational person would make. Put your 4th-string running back at corner. Oh, and it kind of worked, actually. Defensive back Joe Brown picked off Nelson Fishback earlier in the scrimmage, and the defensive unit also took full advantage of live tackling, including a few sacks on the Hilltopper QBs, although they were of the light variety. While coaches said that plenty of room is to grow, the energy is the focus.
Playing a little faster, with a little more enthusiasm, because we know what we're doing a little bit more. Our leadership, our older guys are doing a nice job getting the young guys on the same page.
Every day, especially today, you could hear us. We're loud, yelling, and I think that's what we need to keep doing is keep bringing that energy.
It may be the most anticipated football season ever here on the Hill, but of course we don't need to tell you why. The offense, which is the talking point of this year's squad, will be led once again by 6-year senior Brandon Dowdy. Dowdy is working hard with head coach Jeff Brom and offensive coordinator Tyson Helton, who plan to make last year's national passing leader a back-to-back recipient of the prestigious title. The best way to accomplish that goal, establish a rhythm and chemistry with the old and with the new.
Well, typical spring, some good, some bad. The main thing was a lot of players got reps. Tried to protect the really good ones that we know can play and get some of those younger guys some reps.
Want to see a cool catch from spring football, David?
I do, yeah. What about you?
I do too. We'll see that in our jaw dropper coming soon.
And also shot puts, discus, pole vaults.
Oh my!
And the Hilltop Relays have returned to Bowling Green. Not only were there tops on the diamond, but also tops on the track and the field. WKU hosted the annual Hilltopper Relays and represented the Hill in style. You know the coaches like to get it going early, and the Tops did just that. With the first event of the day, Lady Topper pole vaulters took 2 of the top 3 spots with Rhea Mollers, Carly Parker, and landing on the podium. Keeping the momentum going was the long jump, and Ventavious Sears leaped his way to a personal best, 51 feet and 6, oh, that's a lot, and half inches. Not only was the jump his personal best, but it met a winners as well. Apparently, they like running as well, being home 6 wins in 6 different events on the oval. Many children grow up playing sports they want to pursue professionally, but sometimes they just don't go as planned and something better comes up. For a few days, Extra Point reporter Anna Medina caught up with one special Hilltopper who had not just one chance, but 2 with sports.
I want to be on the football field.
Meet Cyrus Johnston, also known as CJ.
former football player, current track star.
But it was fun. I missed it. I missed it a lot. But, you know, growing up as a football player and then becoming a track athlete, you know, it's a big difference.
CJ grew up playing football and had his mind set on playing college football. But when he decided to attend WKU, it was a different ball game.
Then transitioning to track, it wasn't that big of a, you know, change because I was doing both at the same time in high school.
CJ isn't the only one in the family who plays football. His cousin is Arizona Cardinals cornerback Patrick Peterson.
I came into a decision that I had to make about football and track. And I remember Patrick said it's not always, you know, we're not always gonna be football players. We gotta show the world that our family is versatile.
For Coach Eric Jenkins, CJ's track coach, he admires Cyrus's physical abilities and his leadership skills.
CJ is a guy that competes in multiple events. He's a long jumper, triple jumper, high jumper, and he can hurdle, which is a very unique mix for a track and field athlete. So it takes a lot of patience and a lot of technical development.
You may be wondering what motivates CJ. Well, the answer is simple.
I have a family that adopted me and they want to see me, you know, do good. And I want to show them that I can do good. And it's like my thanks to them for, you know, taking me in. So I try to do the best and I try to get more out of this because it makes them happy.
When asked about the future, CJ says he likes to go where the race of life takes him.
So that's why I take one step at a time to allow that excitement to happen, because you never know what that will take you. So academically or athletically, I'm pretty much set.
One thing is for sure, whether CJ plays football or runs track, he is determined to fulfill his dreams and be successful. Reporting for The Extra Point, I'm Anna Medina.
CJ also mentioned that his goal for the remainder of the season is to achieve nationals.
Now, the man behind this week's jaw droppers always wanted the ball in his hands, but after waiting in line behind just a conference leader in rushing, Joe Brown had to find a different way to grab the rock. The former sophomore running back took his talents to the defensive backfield due to a thin Hilltopper secondary, and it's paying off. As the old saying goes, what can Brown do for you? And for the WKU defense, he can snag the ball away from the second-string QB, Nelson Fishback. One more time, you know we're going to slow this down for you. Picking it off the turf, Brown is willing to hit the grass to make your jaws hit the floor, and that's why he is this week's jaw dropper. Now, David, we got an audible from the studio. We usually go for the 2 here, but just going to kick the extra point today. And sticking with the football theme, spring game Saturday, a lot of storylines. Brandon Dowdy, the defense, some newcomers. What are you looking forward to most?
One thing I'm looking forward to see how the Hilltopper offense gets going, mainly from Brandon Dowdy. He's got a lot of expectations on him. The receivers also got a lot on them. They haven't lost that many receivers in the offseason. I mean, they've done a great job as far as running offense is concerned, but the defense is the one thing I'm going to be watching.
And in terms of offense, I'm looking forward to seeing Nakarius Fant really play some significant time for the first time. And also one thing I'm looking forward to, have you seen the tank tops they're going to give away?
Oh, wow.
They are awesome.
They're going to look good.
I can't wait to get my hands on one of them.
I normally can't pull off a tank top look, honestly.
Yeah, I got to get a little bit more tan, and then I think we'll be good to go. Dave, I know what you're trying to do, but we usually do the fake lip talking thing after the graphic is taken, after the little bug on the screen.
Well, that's awkward. So
yeah.
Anyway, we're just going to go. Don't forget to log on to newschannel12live.com/extrapoint.
Or on Twitter at extra point, WKU. It's a bird, it's a plane, it's the extra point. It's up.
And it's good. Hey, look, the copyright graphic.